The internet is cracked, the show that asks the question, can we coexist with our creation?
Hello, my name is Seth Camillo.
And I am Caroline Risberg, and we are The Internet is Cracked by Addicts for Addicts.
And today we are so very lucky to have Dr. Michael Nuccitelli, who is a licensed psychologist in New York State and the inventor of the iPredator concept. His work focuses on cyberbullying, cyberstalking, and online predators. He specializes in cyber psychology and dark psychology. Dr. Nuccitelli offers education, assessments, and consulting services to help individuals and organizations understand and manage digital threats. It's wonderful to have you here today, and we thank you so much for joining us. This is right down the lane that we want to talk about.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
If I
Thank you.
may, and to your audience, I just found out about the name of your podcast about 2 months ago. And when I heard the title for your audience, it is awesome. Internet is cracked.
Thank you.
And I will guess that you actually have a title called Internet is a Crack. Maybe in a different show. Today we're going to talk about iPredator, which is my
yes,
side.
today is our predator.
Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time doing stuff related to internet addiction, internet abuse, internet dependence. Maybe on a different show we can do really.
Yeah.
We'd absolutely love that. We would
We would
absolutely love
love
to do a
that.
second show.
Internet
Yes,
is
we would
cracked.
love that.
Definitely.
So I just wanted to say congratulations on a great
Oh,
time.
Thank you very much,
thank
and we
you,
believe it
thank
to
you.
be the case.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's jump on it. And I'm going to ask you, just because we brought it up, you coined the term iPredator. What does it mean?
Okay, so iPredator is a dark side of cyberspace concept. It is also a cyber psychology concept. And iPredator essentially presents 8 different types or typologies of online assessments. Can I give them to your audience real quickly?
Absolutely,
Yes,
go for it.
please.
Kept the memories. Okay, so there are 8 typologies of iPredator. Number 1, which is the only typology that involves children, is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is child cyber attacks. Now, this is my concept. So others may say, adults engage in cyberbullying. So when I do my volunteer work, if somebody says they're 50 years old and they say they're being cyberbullied, I certainly don't correct them. So cyberbullying deals with children. The adult forms of cyberbullying would be cyber harassment, internet trolling, and the one that is very serious is called cyberstalking, because cyberstalking is done when the target begins to feel frightened or concerned about their livelihood.
Oh.
Then it moves into cyberstalking. Internet trolling is when the predator is just trying to piss you off. Okay. Cyber harassment is somebody maybe you work with, an ex-employee or somebody that consistently, habitually, berates you about something. Okay. So then after that, we have cyber terrorism, cyber criminals, and then the 2 most deviant of the iPredator are online child predators and online child pornography consumption and distribution.
Okay.
That makes up iPredator. Now, real quick, to know if you or anybody in your audience or anybody who's being targeted is an iPredator, it's very common sense. The criteria is very clear. We've got using information technology, self-awareness you're causing harm, and then number 3, which is the creation, implementation, and dissemination of what I call is cyber stealth. And what cyber stealth is, in a very simple way, is online deception. So when I go online, I can either completely hide my identity or I can skew it in a manner to where you're not quite sure if I'm Dr. Mike or if I'm Seth or if you certainly don't know. So it's those 3 criteria. If you meet those 3 criteria and you do that habitually to a target and or targets, you are an iPredator.
And that's something that Caroline and I we get prepared for these things and we talk a lot. And a lot that we were talking about is the veil, the secrecy. It gives people strength. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes,
Mm.
thank you. I don't know if maybe you guys had checked out my website. Thank you, by the way. Very much appreciate.
Of
Yes.
course.
I call that the veil of anonymity or the veil of invisibility. Obviously, many individuals will hide their identity, predominantly not just online child predators, but as you know, online child predators. I can be a 55-year-old man sitting here on my ass, and I create a Snapchat or an Instagram profile where I am a 15-year-old freshman and I'm going to the high school right next to you. And
Yeah.
that's what I do. So online deception, cyber stealth, it's incredible what people do in order to become predators. When you think about it, there's a lot of effort, there's a lot of energy, and sometimes there's money involved in terms of being able to create this veil.
So where does your passion for this come from? You're obviously it's something that means quite a bit to you. Is it something that occurred? I mean, the internet's been around for the last 30 years, and I assume you would agree this is getting worse and worse and worse as the tools get better and better and better. What
Yes.
what led you down this road
Okay,
to
real
become an
quick.
expert in this?
Thank you for asking that too. Okay. So in my past life, again, we're going almost 2 decades ago, I was a forensic psychologist in addition to being a clinical psychologist. So I would do forensic assessments in criminal, civil, and family courts. I was also during that time in the early 2000s. So not only was I doing forensic psychology, but that is when my passion for the study of psychopathy, sociopathy, and some folks would say evil. So that is when I
Uh,
became interested in the criminal mind. And after studying that and thinking to myself as years went on, I thought to myself, if I was a pedophile, if I was a deviant, if I was a criminal, a psychopath, where could I go so that I could completely hide my identity? Boop. And that is when the light
ah.
bulb went off. In 2006, I wrote a dark side of cyberspace
Mhm.
concept, which is at the website. I call it,
Well, that's very early.
well,
Very
deep
early.
You
psychology.
noticed that early, yeah.
That was also during the time when I was a forensic psychologist. And so dark psychology is a concept dealing with the dark side of human consciousness. Predator is the information age dark side of human consciousness. Recently, a user online, and wonderful social media user I don't know, an anonymous user, provided me something maybe I can read. It's only one sentence, but it speaks to exactly what we're seeing online. When I can turn on a device, I mean, a lot of folks are using mobile devices. Here, I'm
Mhm.
on my desktop. I can go on this device and I can portray myself any way, shape, manner, or form.
Yeah.
I can either complete a whole new identity or I
Mhm.
can be Dr. Mike and I can be talking to you. But now instead of being just over 6 foot tall, I'm actually 6'3", and I am incredibly wealthy and I create a facade, a veil, that I'm
Yeah.
something. And that
I
is what's happening. And in a way, we all do that in some way, shape, manner, or form. Okay.
Mhm.
That's actually very true, and
Yeah, it
that's
is true.
the internet is crack. We're all addicted to that a little bit.
God, I that
That's
tattoo, internet is correct. I may have
internet
to
is
create
cracked.
a meme. Yes.
Yeah,
Um, but even in the animal kingdom, humans from the beginning of civilization, I mean, we have always presented in some way, shape, or form, small types of deception. Okay. If I were to meet a young lady, I certainly would probably say I'm a
mm,
little bit taller than I really am. I would probably say I'm a couple of pounds lighter than I really am. That
right.
is natural.
Yeah.
But now in cyberspace, we take information and we can pervert it in a manner to where we create anything we want.
Yeah. So now we're like everything is AI driven and this whole virtual reality and deep fake and all this. This must be completely even worse now.
Well, no, that's a great question. It's already started. About 10 years ago, I was talking about this, but I thought it would at least take another 2 decades.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, back in 2000, saying, oh, we got to be careful because eventually someday virtual reality and artificial intelligence is going to completely change the
Mm.
human condition. Here
Yeah.
we are in 2025, and it is already started. When we have deep fakes, it's amazing what eye predators can now do to be able
Yeah.
to target somebody. It's absolutely incredible.
How can you even regulate this?
So we're at the beginning of a period of history that is going to last a century or two. The only difference is in this new period of history called the information age is artificial intelligence and virtual reality. And as I say, no kidding, 15, 5 to 10 years from now, the internet, social media, online, all of it is going to be completely different. The
Mm.
question is, we as a society, whether it comes through policy, whether it comes through law enforcement or legal issue, how are we going to adapt?
Yeah, how are
Yeah.
we?
Yeah. How are
Well,
we?
as of right now, I strongly feel we behave as if we live in a pre-information age world. When you're dealing with
Mm.
cyberbullying and cyberstalking and stuff like that, it's absolutely amazing that there isn't really a place or something you can do to get help. You certainly can't go to a social media platform like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
Yeah.
There's not a place that you can write and you actually
No,
really talk to somebody and
no.
actually get help. That is where we're falling short as a society.
It seems like an
Yeah.
accelerant, and I think that's, Caroline and I about the internet is crack. Obviously, like you're saying, peacocks, expand their feathers to look
Yeah.
bigger and more beautiful, but but the internet seems like peacocks on steroids, right? It's
Yes.
an accelerant.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, it's definitely and this is where and again, internet is cracked, the title of your show. Again, I'm not getting a marketing check from you guys, but truly the movement is moving more toward again, I have Google Alerts set up for all of my typologies in addition to internet addiction. I get anywhere between 6 to 10 search results on internet addiction.
Yeah.
Internet
Wow.
addiction is here to stay and it's only going to become bigger. And what they're beginning to find is that children, young adults, and even
Mm.
adults, online users who become internet addicted, what are they at higher risks of? Of being targeted, of becoming victims, targets. What are
Ah.
they at higher risk of? Is becoming eye predators and assailants. Because if you
Mm.
become internet addicted and somebody pisses you off, that internet addiction, just like if you were to drink a pint of vodka, it motivates you, it enrages you to do something. And because I have the veil of anonymity, I can sit here behind my computer. I don't care if you're 6'8", 300 pounds, and a fifth
Yeah.
degree black belt. I'm going to
Mm,
say whatever I want. And what can
yeah,
you do? Nada.
nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. And I wouldn't even know where you are. I couldn't even find
Exactly.
you. That's it's terrifying. It really is. And we are such a victims in a way. Maybe that's not the word you want to say, victims, but we are. We're so vulnerable every day.
Yes.
And we're putting ourselves out there constantly. Yeah.
And again, we're not going to talk about internet addiction today, but I keep going back to hearing, internet is a crack. But as I said, I guarantee you, your show, your podcast, and title in time is going to only get bigger because internet addiction. This is through research, and research is just beginning to actually address not necessarily my stuff of iPredator, but that is dealing with stuff related to the cyber psychological aspects. Cyber psychology. Psychology is very easy, the study of human behavior. Cyber psychology is also very easy to understand. It is the study of human behavior in relationship to social media and information technology. That is what cyber psychology is.
Hmm.
iPredator is a cyber psychological concept that deals with the online assailants, the ones who attack others, whether you want to call them victim, whether you want to call them target. And even many of us who are pretty savvy in online safety, we surely are not,
Yes.
absolved of any risk because it can happen to
Right.
anybody.
I almost sent my bank account to somebody because they did a really, really good they did an incredibly good job
Thank God.
of impersonating Chase Bank,
Yes.
and they knew the names of who the check was from, it was extraordinarily
Mm,
well put together, and
Yes.
I don't think that I'm a naive person,
mm,
but I nearly fell for it,
Yes.
and I don't think you have to be naive to get
Not
tricked.
at all. Very important. I am Dr. Nuccitelli, the creator of iPredator. I have fought. I hate to admit this, but internet is crap. I have, and for your audience, never, never, never click on links that you don't know, particularly if it's related to
yeah.
finance. I would say about 4 years ago, thank God nothing happened. About 4 years ago, I got an email. My accounts are with Chase. I swear to God, it looked so perfectly like Chase. Okay. I clicked on the link, and not that I got hacked, but it opened up into all these kind of, spammy mullets.
Yeah.
I immediately shut my computer off, and by the grace of God, I wasn't actively hacked. But I clicked on a link I shouldn't have. Now,
Yeah.
when I actually looked at the sent from, when I went back, that's when I knew it certainly wasn't from Chase. So,
Yeah.
to your audience and from all of us, okay, you have to be cognizant when you go online.
Yes.
Okay. Internet addicted online users tend to, again, are at much higher risk of being targeted. Those that are internet addicted, they practice, they become less online safe, just like somebody
Yeah.
who's alcoholic or drug addicted.
Yes.
Right.
But clicking on stuff is incredible. You have to be very careful these days.
Yes, yes.
But what, for example, why, who, I mean, I'm sure that it's not one particular person, the target. Why are the predators, who actually the target in a way? Is it just randomly or?
It's another great question. Okay, there are two sub concepts to iPredator. Okay, the first one is IVI, eye predator victim intuition, and what that is. Okay, the eye predators, the cyber criminals, the cyber stalkers, and
Mhm,
there are hundreds of thousands of them. They are on a scale of tech savviness and also psychological savviness. There
mm,
are online predators that are dumb as a stump. Okay. But there are also online predators that are very astute. They're very tech savvy. They have studied developmental psychology and what the 13-year-old feels and thinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
So those individuals, when IVI, eye predator victim intuition, is the eye predator's ability to be able to look at you and see if you would be a good mark, if you would be somebody who is, a good target. The second part of IBI, which is really the cyber psychology of predator, the acronym is ODER. Offline distress dictates online response. And what that means is whatever my offline world is like, my psychological state offline directly affects what I do online.
Yes.
I predators, they will spend the good ones, they'll spend weeks going to
Yeah.
all your social media sites,
oh, wow.
reading your posts, reading your comments. So
Mm.
even if you have your social media account like Facebook set on private, they will sit and wait, and they will go to other social sites, and it's called online surveillance. And that is a form
Wow.
of cyber stalking, online surveillance. So the real good eye predators, they, as I said in the beginning, they will spend an inordinate amount of time, effort, energy, and sometimes money to target you.
I am not a parent, and I have, many friends who are parents, and,
Mm,
um, they are almost in a state of just, "What can I do?"
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very hard. You can't be with your child 24 hours a day
No, no.
on the internet, so
No.
they try to teach them as well as they can, but it is a dangerous place to be a young person for sure. It
Yes.
definitely is.
So it is paramount for the parent primary caregiver to be able to know, how mature is their kid. And from
Yeah.
there, when you begin to set boundaries. So it's extremely difficult to truncate and to restrict your child's online usage.
Yes.
Is it any platform, so any activities that you would say would be more dangerous? Let's say anything from gaming or being on all different kind of social medias, or for a kid where you are more target?
That's an easy one, and it is the title of your show. Again, I forgive me for being redundant. Internet is cracked. The correlational research is beginning to show. Obviously, we don't really have longitudinal studies because longitudinal studies requires you to follow someone from childhood all the way up to adulthood. But
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of correlational work coming out that's saying the more time a child spends online, the higher rate of being depressed, anxious, and
Okay.
engaging in risk-taking behavior online and offline. So there is a direct link between internet addiction and psychological dysfunction. And that is
Okay.
why internet is crack is so real. And to be quite honest with you, that doesn't apply just to children. That applies to adults as
Mm.
well.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I can see
That's a
that.
very good point.
I mean, one of the big things with adults is online gaming. I mean, online gambling, online
Oh,
gaming,
gambit.
gambling, and one of the typologies for my internet addiction, another show, are your shopaholics, your e-commerce,
Yeah.
impulsive
Mm.
dependent,
Mm.
where they will spend hours on eBay. They will go to different type of e-commerce sites and get that. They will talk about it on social media, and there you go. I mean, hours will go by and now it's 4 o'clock in the morning. They have to get up at 5:30 to get to a 7 o'clock job, and they've been up half the night.
Wow.
Do you think there's a psychological tendency, or do you think people just get drawn in to either, well, let's just say from the predator side. Do you think these people are predators to begin with, or do you think they are made
Oh, different.
by the anonymity of the internet?
I wish I could answer that question. I have spent, I wrote iPredator originally, jotted it down 2009, wrote it, published it 2010, 15 years. I have been trying to answer your question, and here we are. I still can't answer it. I
Uh-huh.
know this may sound crazy, okay? But I'm going to talk to you because you guys have the title "Internet is Crack." Is I said this a long time ago. Um, Cyberspace is an extension of human consciousness. Now, obviously, when I say that, I don't really mean that. It's more archetypal, it's more metaphorical. But I really believe if you look at, okay, the human brain has anywhere between 80 to 100 billion neurons. Okay. When you talk about neuronal connections, all them touching each other, axons and dendritic,
Mm.
1.3 trillion connections. Okay. Now,
Wow.
you also look
Wow.
at digital universe, the internet, the digital universe, it oddly looks very similar. And what I am suggesting is that in some aspects, I know this sounds crazy, is that the internet, which is all created, as you know, by humans, people, is actually slowly, gradually becoming a Xerox copy of what? The human mind. And now that we're moving into virtual reality and artificial intelligence,
Mm.
uh, what I just do, I pat myself on the back because that is what we're seeing. I didn't think it was going to happen for a while, but
Yeah, nobody did.
we're
No, but it did.
and it is serious.
And it's so fast. I mean, we can just see what have happened the last year of, let's say, the AI or deep fake, and how things look so real, and how you can take my voice and you can call Seth and pretend I'm calling him. I mean, it that really scares me how real it is now, and it's out there where everyone can do it,
And what's
you know.
amazing, you said how it is now. Imagine
Yes.
next year, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, it's only going to become more real, using your terminology, with each passing year. So what it comes
Yeah.
down to is, guys, and to your audience, what do we do as a society, okay, in order to protect ourselves or to reduce our probability of being targeted? Unfortunately, under offline distress dictates online response. If I get online and I just meet you in an online dating site or a chat room, and boy, that picture, you're very pretty, and I start to trust you, and you kick me over to WhatsApp, okay? And I get off the main site, and now we're into
Oh,
WhatsApp, and now you start asking me personal questions. Boom. That's when it begins, because now I think I'm in a comfortable situation. I'm attracted to you. And now I can share a little bit more about, let's say, where I live, what I do, all the intimate details, and it goes on and on and on.
Well,
oh,
on
yeah.
Telegram, Telegram,
Yes. Telegram and WhatsApp.
the
Yes.
yeah,
Mm.
they had a specific place you could go, and I'm trying to be careful with my words here, and basically put a picture in and have a sexual act, you know, um, reconstructed for you of a person putting the person's face in. And I just
Oh.
feel like it is the internet is cracked, that people are drawn by the internet route. I mean, everybody's had cravings for, since the dawn of humanity, but I think the ability to experience those cravings is a new thing as of
Mm.
1993, and especially in the last 10 years.
Exactly. Guys, think about it, and for your audience as well. I guarantee you a significant majority of your audience, and including, I'll use myself. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, almost
Yeah.
7 days a week, okay, we are online. Okay. When I get up in the morning,
Yeah.
I use an electronic medical record, therapy notes. I have to go online. I have to click off on all my therapist notes. Okay. I have to go online. So once I'm done doing that, I go look at some of my social media accounts, maybe read the news. I look at my Google alerts. I go to work. I see my 18 to 20 patients. I use social media, YouTube. I print out articles. All of
Yeah.
it is done online. I come home, and what am I doing today? I'm doing a wonderful internet podcast online.
Online.
Right. I
Online.
I'm gonna get off with you guys, and now I'm gonna go check my, my Google alerts again. And I already have, and I'll tell you a little bit later about my volunteer work. I already have 3 calls to make. I probably will not get done with iPredator related stuff until 7 o'clock, and I'm in bed around 8:30 because I'm up at 3 a.m. to see my first patient by 5:30.
Do you think there should be more transparency? Do you think there should be legislation where there is less transparency, or do you think that we need to just educate ourselves?
Well,
Where do you come down on that?
excellent question. Prevention education is the key, but when it comes to transparency, I am all for First Amendment, transparency. But when it comes to children, it's a whole different ballgame. Okay, children, as you know, developmentally they're unable to be consenting individuals. They're
Mm.
children. So it is up to the primary caregiver, the parent, to make those decisions for the child.
What would you say is the biggest, or now, like now, the last year, let's say the last year, the biggest crime that you see?
Sextortion. Okay, sextortion is by far the crime that is trending. And for your audience, what sextortion is, and again, with
Mm.
AI and virtual reality, it doesn't even have to be actual. It can be
Yeah.
Photoshop, so forth. But let's go old school. So let's say you and I were dating, or you and I were married, or you and I, we met and had a one night stand. Let's say in our interactions, interpersonal dynamic, you had sent me some great nudies, or you sent me some sexy shots, or you
Mm.
wrote me some text messages, or maybe you even videotaped a nice little clip that you had sent me. And now you and I divorce or split up. Okay. A subset of sextortion is called revenge porn. Now, because I suspect you of cheating on me, I take all that sexually themed content, I post it to every social media site. I send it to your job. If you're young and you're a teenager, I send it to your parents. That is what revenge porn is. Now, let's say, for instance, is that you go on for young people. Snapchat is still quite big in Instagram,
Mhm.
and you went down to the Jersey Shore. I'm here on the East Coast. A lot of the folks go to the Jersey Shore. You go to
Absolutely.
the Jersey
Yeah.
Shore, and he takes a great picture of you in a thong bikini. I mean, pretty innocuous, pretty innocent. Well,
Mhm.
now that iPredator takes that and molests it and perverts the image, and now gets online and says, "Look, you see this content? If you don't send me more sexually themed content, or if you don't send me $1,000, I am going to replicate this and send it to the admissions at your college. I'm going to send it to your parents. I'm going to send it to your job." That is what sextortion is. And that is incredibly serious.
And you were saying, you at least alluded to it,
Mm.
that the laws have not caught up with the
Uh,
realities of the world.
And real quick, with sextortion, the vast majority of victims, targets who are sextorted, they tell no one. The point that I'm saying is, when it comes to sexual abuse, sexual molestation, offline, it's never talked about. Online, even more so. The vast majority of people, again, when we talk about my volunteer work, when I do calls, um, and next extortion has been involved. I actually did a volunteer call a couple of days ago, not to get into the details, but they hadn't told their family. They hadn't, they don't tell their
Yeah.
husbands. They tell no one. They keep
Yeah,
it a secret. They didn't even go to the police.
yeah,
Part
Yeah.
of what I do, if somebody is a victim of sextortion, I say, you got to go file a police report. Now,
Yeah.
just like with those who have a history of sexual abuse, they don't want to go, because once they go do that, in their mind, it becomes public and they have to accept it. And the amount of shame is incredible. And then when
Mm.
we talk about what's called victim blaming and victim shaming,
Yeah.
uh, you have, women who have been sexually assaulted, who have been raped, who have been abused online. When they go to their loved ones, or when they go to law enforcement and even to attorneys, they are saying, "Well, why did you wear that mini skirt?"
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Victim blaming and victim shaming is just like it's always been, but now it occurs with online assault as well.
yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, a little bit older. So before the internet was as much as it was, as you say, like people didn't talk about if girls got raped or anything like that. It was something you were never as a girl. And it's shocking how many people you learn to know.
So
Mm.
really what it comes down to, guys, and for your audience, again, when I say personal information, personal information, personal information, I don't care how much you love your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your fiance, your husband, your wife, or the guy that you slept with last week. I don't care how much. I don't care if you think that the person you've been talking to online is wonderful. I know he loves
Mm.
me. Never, never share
Yeah.
sexually themed content online. Never.
Yeah.
Because if you do, again, what we all know, you guys know this, once you publish something online, you delete it, does it go away? No.
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 Once we put something,
No.
it becomes eternal. I know that sounds corny, but never post anything sexually themed. Don't text anything sexually themed. Don't, if you're making a simple comment in Reddit and Facebook, whatever, don't be sexually provocative, because you never know if there is an eye predator watching and writing it down. And I guarantee you, there are
Wow.
always people watching.
Well, even as you're speaking about this stuff, and not, this is non-sexual, but even what I was talking about, I
Mm.
was working for it was I was working for an individual making a film for him, and they had all the information about him that, when I almost got duped going back saying when I almost got duped monetarily, I feel, even to this day, I feel shame rather than anger, to be honest. I feel
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah.
ashamed, like I was stupid. How did I fall for that?
Mm.
And I think that I can only imagine if you're 15, 14, 13, and
Oh,
you're sending naked photographs to somebody, the shame must just be dripping
Yes, and
from
this is why
head to
I
toe.
apologize for it, but it's actually a good point, and this is why,
yeah.
maybe we could use cyberbullying for a whole show, which is child-on-child cyber attack.
Yeah.
We have a new
Yes.
phenomenon. Now,
Yeah.
we've always had teen suicide, obviously, probably been around since the beginning of human civilization, when children, teens take their own lives for a variety of reasons, whether you believe it's situational depression, genetic, so forth and so on. But what we have now is called cyber bullycide. And this
Yeah.
is when a child who is being bullied, cyberbullied, or just cyberbullied, they feel such shame, such fear. They don't
Mm.
go to their parents. They don't tell their loved ones. The only alternative to them is take their own lives. That is called cyberbullycide. That is a new phenomena to the information age, and it is growing.
Well, let me just say this one thing, and
Wow.
I'll,
Mhm.
it's for every one teenager who takes their lives, you have to think there's got to be 1 to 10,000 other children who are feeling the
Mm.
effects of what
Almost.
that person is going through.
Well, yeah, and they are cool. Well, that's another good. When we're dealing with cyberbullying, we'll just stick with that for a moment. It's called bystanders. Okay, all right.
Oh.
Cyberbullies. Three types of in the cyberbullying triad. There is the cyberbully, the aggressor, the predator, the cyberbullied, the victim target, and the bystander.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
am saying that 100% of cyberbullying incidents that go on, there are others, okay, around that know about it. But what does the bystander do about it? Nothing. And the
Nothing.
reason why they don't do anything about is from a development, they're children, okay? But they fear if they stand up and they go tell an adult or they stick up for the victim, they now become the target. They also, from a peer standpoint, they're afraid that if they do something about it and help, they will be seen as uncool and not.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm sure the kids who wants to be an upstander, that they're also afraid of, because then they might be bullied.
Exactly. Because I can go online, because I feel this false sense of anonymity. Like I'm talking to the two of you, I can see you, but we're connected by a digital connection.
Yeah.
There is a cyber psychological phenomena that's occurring even right now. Now, when you look at children that go online, okay, they feel the same thing.
Everybody has thoughts in their head that they don't want. I mean, nobody wants their mind read. That's part of life. But it's so easy now to find people who
Yeah.
share your thoughts.
But dark psychology says, okay, you just said it, all of us, okay, have violent, deviant, as it's natural to have crazy
Yeah.
ass thoughts, okay? The difference is, under dark psychology, is the vast majority of us, we don't act upon it. It stays between our ears. When we move into that point, that trigger where we act upon it, that's when dark psychology moves in. And now we're looking at the study of human consciousness, the dark side. So,
That's what my mom always said,
Mm.
"You're judged by your actions, not by your
exactly.
thoughts."
Right. It's okay to have crazy thoughts, just don't act upon them. But okay, those crazy thoughts, okay, I'm having it again, and this is where internet addiction comes in.
And that's what Caroline and I are searching for this answer, and I know you said you can't give it, but I believe that it is the internet that is bringing out, to some extent, obviously, awful things were done before the internet. It's not like the world was, only wine and roses beforehand, but I believe the internet is bringing out darkness that
Yeah.
wasn't there
Yes, the
before
internet
the
is,
internet was
yes,
there.
spot on, and thank you. The Again, I can't prove this, what you just said. The internet is accelerating, okay?
Yeah.
The fantasies, the dark fantasy, it's accelerating, going from fantasy to action to where it becomes a behavior.
Yes.
And that is something. And now, particularly with artificial intelligence and
Oh my
Yeah.
virtual
god.
reality,
Probably a lot of these kids that are being abused want to go to their parents, but feel uncomfortable. And if you
yes,
make it a comfortable place, they're more likely to trust you.
it's also very important to note, particularly when it comes to online child predators who are adults. 99% of them in the online grooming, what they say to the child, the victim, is the one thing, even if the child knows that they're talking to an adult, okay, that the eye predator will say the one thing is you can't tell your parents or
Oh.
a teacher
Gee,
about our conversations.
terrible.
Because
Oh.
if you do that, we will lose everything. I will get it, so forth and so on. So the online child predator creates an online secret. So that makes it very difficult. And what the online child predator also does is, do you realize what will happen if you go tell your mom and dad what you sent me? Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens,
Oh.
predator, just like the offline child predator, uses guilt and shame, embarrassment to squelch the child's ability to do anything about it.
What can we do? What can we do
Mm.
as an individual, the government, or whatever, to kind of stop?
Well, the
I want to
first
say
thing again,
stop this, or
as I said earlier, and again, I hopefully I live long enough. I believe it should be a compulsory educational requirement as early as kindergarten through high school.
yeah,
Where so when I was a kid, I had to take health. I had to take
yeah,
metal shop and wood shop, which I loved. Okay, these were
yeah,
vocational training, health. I even remember Mr. Model from eighth grade. God rest his soul. Okay, I was introduced, to safe sex and condoms. I believe it
yeah,
needs to be a compulsory educational requirement where every student K through 12 is taught in it, just like any of those classes,
yeah,
because we live in the information age, cyberbullying prevention and digital citizenship or etiquette. And what digital citizenship is, which is for all of us, not just children, is how does one conduct themselves online?
yeah. I think that would be an amazing thing that we should do. I'm from Sweden. I remember when we grew up, as you said, we had we had classes about drugs. We had, as you said, like some kind of a sex education, so we knew what it was. We had all of those kind of thing, and I feel it was very good. I remember like the drug education. They would talk about all these kind of different drugs, and then they actually also took us to a rehab center. So you saw people who have, yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, and we talked to a man who I still today remember him talking about that he had been with drugs and he saw little green aliens and everything that and I've you know what? I've been terrified about it my whole life. I'm like, drugs are not good. I'm never going to do drugs. Until,
Consequences and education seems to be what you're saying. Consequences
yes.
and education. It actually, as you said it about teaching it at the high school level, it actually struck me as kind of insane. I mean, we are the internet as crack, and we do believe it's why are we named that? Because we believe it's impossible to escape.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the idea that it's not being taught how to manage it is actually kind of insane.
As I said, for your audience, for all of us, personal information is always remember whether you're
That's a good
you're
one.
happy, whether you got a promotion, whether you're mad at your whatever it may be.
Yeah.
When you go online, I'm not saying you have to go Zen and you have to do a meditation. What I'm saying is cognitively, you have to understand if you're upset, don't go online and start ripping in the commenting sections about what a person's political persuasion is
Yeah.
or whatever it may be, because by doing that, you increase the probability that you're going to be targeted.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. I'm not a teenager, and I've had some mean things said to me by anonymous people that stick with me, even though I'm not
Yeah.
20, I'm not 30. I don't know. I'm an adult. I'm a grown man, and still, when people say a nasty thing to you, it sticks with you.
Yes.
It sticks with you.
Yes, you get anxiety. Like I get anxiety if I
Yeah.
see something. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to see this. Why are people mean? you know?
Yeah, so
But you say something mean, you're not meant to talk to people like that. I'm
No.
not.
so are you millennials or X Gen?
What am I? I'm your ex, not millennial. I'm
I
not
think I'm
millennial.
Generation X.
Yeah,
Okay.
Generation. That's probably what drew us most to the idea of it
yeah,
because of being Gen X, of having grown up in a totally different way.
Exactly.
And as I say, I live next to a school, a block away from the
yeah.
school, and there is nobody playing. I don't see kids running around. They're all, it's not like when I was a kid, you'd see running to kids, you're all out riding bicycles. And I think Caroline and I noticed this big change in society, and that's why we became really interested
We
in this.
did.
So real quickly before I just want to let your audience know that everything I've created at my website, my checklists,
Yes.
inventories, all 30 of them, everything is public domain and educational. So if there's something you like, you don't even have to give an email address, no contact information. If you like it, print it out, and you don't like it, blow your nose with it and throw it in the garbage.
Why don't you give the website out right now just so people can
Okay,
go?
well, it is iPredator.org.
And thank you for doing what you're doing and
Yes,
actually
thank you
having it
for
as free too for
thank you.
people.
Thank you.
Oh, and
Thank you.
thank you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank
Well,
you for
we're going to
talking to
talk
us.
again soon. So thank you very much for today. Very insightful. Very insightful.
Thank you, guys.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching or listening to The Internet is Crack. Tune in next week when we have another great conversation about robotics, AI, and the internet. You can watch us or listen to us on YouTube or Spotify or many other outlets. And don't forget to follow us on social media. See you next Monday.